I thought you
I'm
just
trying to
meant
look.
eyeliner. I was like, why eyeliner?
This is what's interesting about our podcast is like we never dunk on girls or our guests. We always dunk on each other.
That's actually
That's
that's
the thing about our show. You brought something up with regards to being bright. And do you ever get
I know
this?
this sounded weird when I said it.
Well, no, I mean I'm sure you think that you are.
That's like our thing. So our OnlyFans is actually in public. So we do in public sexual acts. It's definitely like set up to make women look stupid and like the whole like you know what they're
It's
doing.
like alley-oop and the dunk,
Yeah,
baby.
you know what they're doing.
Well, yes and no. I think Brian is fairly intelligent.
Oh, he is.
And
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, and I think he's probably one of those people that doesn't go into it wanting to dunk.
That part is like, I'm like, what? Like everything else, they're like, yes, facts and logic. We use our brains and not our hearts. Like we don't believe things unless we see physical evidence and
then
studies.
religion.
I don't think anybody
No, 'cause
intentionally
some of those-
dumbs themselves.
Oh
Some
my
of the
gosh, yes
things
they
you
do.
think so?
bro.
Oh yes they do. Going to hell, like.
For having plastic surgery?
Yeah.
The negative is not that, oh, she was so much makeup. The negative is she was just ugly to start with.
Like I said, me and my boyfriend do like in public stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So like every time we have sex, it's crazy.
Like where in public? Like what's the...
Our recent thing that actually just came out on Daily Mail was that we fucked in the Cardinals Stadium parking lot. Oh no, this was the craziest and like my favorite.
This is the one thing that got me curious about maybe I was
Welcome to Unattainable. Glad to have you with us and hope you continue to be a part of our family for the foreseeable future. And if so, please hit that subscribe button. I am Mohammed Malay here with my incredible co-host, Zach Evans, and our amazing guest of today, Kaylee. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Good.
Please introduce yourself, where you're from, what you do, how old you are, so on and so forth.
Bang. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm Kaylee Killian. I'm 27. I live in Arizona and I do OnlyFans.
Awesome. When did you start OnlyFans?
In 2020.
Oh, okay. So you got into it right when it was it started
Yes.
popping.
Yes.
How's that been going?
I mean, it's my full income in my job,
Yeah.
so I guess good. Yeah.
You don't have to say how much you make, but if you want, you can. But do you make enough to support yourself?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I make enough to support myself. Like my boyfriend's my partner. Like we do it together. We have
Okay.
a couples account
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, we can support each other. So
That's always interesting to me. So with regards to the couples account, is that okay? So do you do stuff solo as well as couples?
No,
It's just couples.
just couples.
It's just you and your boyfriend,
Yes.
and your audience is
It was a change. So like before I did solo, I hated it. It was not enjoyable.
mm-hmm.
It
Because
makes that kind of stuff not fun anymore because it just like feels like work and stuff. So I didn't really enjoy that. And then when we started dating, I was still kind of doing like the solo stuff for like 2 months. And then he brought it up actually. And he was like, you know what? Like, I want to do this with you. And we do it together. And I was like, thank God. And then we changed it into a couple account. And the transition was kind of hard just because there are guys who don't want to know about that or like don't want to see
Right.
it. Because they think that we have this like intimate
connection.
Yes.
There's a possibility.
Yes.
Right.
So it was the transition of like getting rid of those men because it's just like we don't even want you here because it's like it's not gonna matter, and then getting new subscribers. So I lost a lot of subscribers and then had to like get new ones. So just like promo, like social media, just like making sure everyone's aware like on my accounts that like I have a boyfriend and this is what you're gonna see, like not that like internet girlfriend type material.
Interesting. So okay, I have so many questions with regards to that. It's so what is the kink with regard for the audience when they watch that?
I think people like it because it's real. So like when you go to like Pornhub, it's a skit, it's fake, like it's a fantasy, and like that's cool, like people like that. But there is a part of you that like I feel like, I mean, I can't speak for men, but like for me, like I'm like I could tell like, okay, like this is fake, you know, like it's not enjoyable because you just like if you paid for a girl to sleep with you, or like you go to a strip club, like, yes, it's fun for a little bit, but then you're like, I just paid for that girl to give me attention instead of, you know what I mean? It's
Sure.
like, so I feel like they like us because it's real and it's intimate, and they're seeing like part of our life that's like our sex is not like a set up scene. Like, it's very like amateur. Like, it's literally us just having sex. So I think that's like what makes people enjoy it.
And then are you with an agency, or you do your own marketing?
I'm with an agency.
Okay. And they do all your marketing and everything that goes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're amazing.
Sure. Okay. So so you started when you were 24 years old. What were you doing before that?
So before that, I was doing Patreon, which I don't know if you guys know what that is, but it was basically OnlyFans. And then they kind of like started not wanting that kind of content, so they started shooting that down. At the time, OnlyFans started to become big in 2020, so it was like perfect timing to like transition. I was doing both for a little bit. I owned a magazine, like a nude magazine that I made, and was doing that as well on Patreon. And then I stopped doing that because my OnlyFans just like kind of took off, so I just like focused on that. And then before that, I like worked restaurants and stuff like that.
So at what age did you start doing sexual content?
Like getting paid for like nudes and stuff, probably like 22.
Okay. And then, so what's your background? You were born and raised in
Georgia.
And religious family, or?
They're religious, but they're like religious in the way like they go to church on like Easter.
Okay.
You know,
So
like
not
that kind of.
really.
Yeah.
Do they know that this is? I'm assuming they do by now.
It's like known, but it's not like talked about. It's just like.
So during Thanksgiving, nobody brings it up. It's just.
No, I mean they ask like how work is and stuff like, but like they like don't like go into details. Like my mom definitely like knows, but we've never had like that discussion.
But they've never said anything.
No,
to, like,
nothing
you.
like they hate it or like don't approve. But
Right.
I think they are just happy I'm happy, and they see that I'm doing well and that like I can take care of myself. And also I think they know that I'm bright, like I'm smart, so I wouldn't put myself in like a situation that I like shouldn't be in. So they.
Okay, so you brought something up with regards to being bright, and do you ever get?
I know
this?
this sounded weird when I said it.
Well, no, I mean I'm sure you think that you are, but not that
My
I
mother
don't
would
know.
think I am.
Right, I don't know you, so I have no idea whether you are or not. But I would say there is this preconceived notion when it comes to people who do sexual content in general, right? Where the thought process would be, and generally speaking, the judgment based upon that the whole environment and industry is that you do it because
We're not intelligent.
you're not bright.
Yeah.
Right. And so I'm assuming you've gotten that
Oh yeah.
from a lot of people. So how do you rectify that?
I mean, like, honestly, like, I don't really, it doesn't bother me that people would assume that kind of stuff. If stuff like that bothered me, then I probably wouldn't be doing it. Like, I wouldn't be showing my body like that on the internet, because I obviously would have not as tough skin. But as far as like just like fighting back and like, I mean, I think it depends on the girl. Like I've definitely met OnlyFans girls who I'm like, oh, like, you know, a little worried about like what's going on. But I think it's just like anything. Like some people are like, I wouldn't say being an OnlyFans girl makes you not smart. If
Right.
That's what I'm trying to get to.
Got it. And then, so how long have you and your boyfriend been together?
A year.
A year. How did you guys meet?
So we met through a mutual friend in Arizona. I was visiting. I lived here in LA at the time. And she like set us up. She was like, oh, you got to meet him. He's so hot. Da, da, da. We went out, went to a bar. He was very shy. I like actually thought he was trying to get with my friend. And so I kind of like fucked off because I was just like, what the fuck? Then eventually like we just got drunk enough and I just made out with him. And then we went to an after party, but it was like an intimate after party, like maybe 15 people. And we went to the balcony of the after party and he ate my ass like on this balcony. And we just like hooked up for like, it felt like honestly forever. It was probably like 2 hours, like at least.
So your first sexual encounter was him eating your ass.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Like, this guy's the one.
I was like, this guy's the one. He's
one.
not shy. And so we did that on the balcony, and it gets crazier, actually. So the guy who owned the penthouse apartment, whatever, of the party, was coming outside and handing us shots and, like, getting in our ear and, like, looking at us. And he's like, yeah, you guys are beautiful, like, so young. He's older. Like, these were older men. My friend likes older men, so that's why we went there. And then... so he's like in our face and he's like, you guys are beautiful. Like, yeah, keep going. Like, kiss her like that. Like, watching us. I'm like naked. I might have had a top on, but like I at least had the bottom off because he was like eating me out and my ass and stuff. And he's just like whispering this in our ear and we're just like grabbing the shots, taking them. And then he would go fuck off and then he would come back. And this just happened like the entire time. It was very interesting. And then we went to leave and everyone was gone except for him, the owner. And we were like, fuck, like all our friends just left, didn't say anything. But I mean, fair enough. We're like on the balcony doing this. And then I went to the bathroom and then like a couple weeks later, once we started like dating, or it would have been like a month later we started dating. He told me that the guy while I was in the bathroom came up to him and was like, bring her back and like we'll record it and I'll pay you guys. Like it'll be fun. Like da da da.
Uh-huh. Interesting. Okay, so mind blown, first of all. Second of all, are you guys monogamous?
Yes.
Okay. So no threesomes, you don't sleep with other people. That seems interesting to me considering the openness when it comes to
in public.
Right.
So that's like our thing. So our OnlyFans is actually in public. So we do in public sexual acts. But we're a traditional couple when it comes to like we want to have babies and get married and like we're very like traditional when it comes to that. And we have like that kind of respect for each other that would be in that kind of relationship. Like I would never.
That's so interesting to me.
Right? Like people think like OnlyFans people are always like just like going and fucking everyone and like all that kind of stuff.
Well, you would think if you are sexually open-minded like this,
yes,
where you don't mind other people watching you, you don't mind doing it in public, you don't mind recording it for the world to see.
Yeah.
And yet you do mind somebody else having sex with your partner.
Yeah, because he's mine and we love each other.
Yeah, but I dated 2 OnlyFans girls in my life, and both of them were not attracted to girls, or like not enough to like hook up with girls or have a threesome or anything like that. I think it's like.
But I don't think that's particularly the issue here.
No, I would hook up with a girl. I have. Oh. So that's not the issue. I just don't. That's not the kind of relationship I have ever wanted. I like a traditional relationship. I'm just a sexual person. Mm-hmm. So like I understand the confusion. But
I think most girls on OnlyFans, at least most of them that I know, they separate it. It's like this is my business. I'm making money. Like the girls I was dating, they would text guys like on their OnlyFans like, "Hey baby," and like I'm not gonna like take that personally. Obviously, yeah. Like okay, she's trying to make her bag, you know.
Yeah.
And then like the actual like sex itself was like for me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I suppose Sky was like that too.
Yeah.
One of her biggest things was like she wouldn't mind having sex with girls. She wouldn't mind obviously doing OnlyFans, but she would mind having a threesome.
I've had a threesome. It's just like a relationship.
Right. I'm talking about the person.
Yeah,
that
like
you're with.
like we're not into that kind of stuff. Like we're a partnership and like we're doing this together. This is our business together. So like
I do have a question about that.
Okay.
So do you guys split it 50-50?
We share bank accounts. Like we are like we're getting married.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay,
yes.
so you guys are like that serious.
Yeah.
Because it's just crazy to think like, okay, you're pretty much the reason that all these guys are coming. Like I'm sure like the guys paying for your OnlyFans aren't coming for your boyfriend. Like if you took you out of the picture, the entire operation falls apart. If you took him out of the picture, like it would be fine. Like you'd be probably making almost the same amount of money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So does like any part of it doesn't bother you at all or anything that like, hey, I'm kind of bringing like all this value to the business?
No, because he brings other things to the table. Like okay. I see what you're saying, but like we have different roles in the situation. I I mean, just like a traditional marriage, like the woman, not saying
Makes
that
the money.
that the man makes the money, the woman stays at home and cooks. It's not saying one is doing more than the other, but they have different roles.
Wait, but you're making the money though.
Yeah,
and
so
you're
it's
staying
just
home and cooking.
no. He still helps. We have a partnership, but I'm just
Okay.
explaining.
I
like,
wouldn't particularly
roles.
agree that he's doing nothing. I mean, the
Well, yeah,
reality
you're
of it is
not
their
doing-
audience has changed. So I'm sure there are women in that platform who also watch.
There's also a lot of men that like, we get this a lot, that want to be the third. So like that's like pretty common. Like they want to like be part of it and be in like a threesome with us. Like they still find him attractive
Right.
and they want to see me like, you know, have sex.
You said something with regards to wanting a family and so on and so forth. What is that timeline like?
I mean, we talk about it now. I mean, it wouldn't be smart to do it now, but if I did get pregnant now, it would definitely be like an intense discussion we would have. Like, but we would probably wait like 5 years.
Ideally, by the time you're 32, you start having kids. So at that point, are you still going to be doing OnlyFans?
I mean, I would like to stop when I have children and like do something else. But if we are, I mean, that's something we would have to like talk about then. I don't know.
What would be the reason to stop?
I just don't think that is realistic with children like running around to be like over here like fucking 4 times a day and like doing crazy like customs for customers and like that's just like not saying like people who do it, it's, like power to you, but I just think like if I have like my kids running around and stuff, I'm not like trying to really do that.
Well, let's assume for the sake of this conversation, you're 32, you're extremely rich because you made all this money off OnlyFans, and your kid is 1 year old at that point, and she or he, well, let's say she for the sake of this conversation, she comes up and says, "Hey, mommy, how are we so how are we so rich?" What do you say?
I think about these questions all the time. I don't know. Again, that's a conversation between me and my boyfriend that we're gonna have to like think of parents. Like, how do we want to go about these conversations when they get introduced, especially as they start getting older and they start like realizing more of like the situations and stuff. I think that our children, the way we raise them, are going to understand this kind of world and like appreciate it and be comfortable in it. So I'm hoping that like it will be fine. But
so if your daughter wanted to do OnlyFans, you'd be okay with it?
Yes.
Got it. So in your mind, you don't really see it as right and wrong. You just see it as what is.
Yes. Yeah. I don't think it's right or wrong. I mean, I don't think that. I mean, there's definitely like wrong stuff. Like
No, I'm talking about with this particular industry.
Yeah, no.
Okay. You said something with regards to older men. How your friend liked older men. What's old?
So, I mean, she was 25, I think. They were probably like 40.
Okay. So like above 40 to you is like older.
I guess, yeah.
Okay.
Older than her. Like, older men for her.
27 would be older than her. But
yeah.
what you would define as older is like above 40.
Yes, for a woman of that age.
Sure. And are we assuming that it's not okay for her to date men?
No, I don't have any judgment.
Okay.
I was just saying she likes older men.
Got it.
And I wouldn't go for that.
So, and then, okay, so the first date you had with your boyfriend, or that was the second date when...
That was the first time we ever met, was the butthole eating.
That was the very first time. Okay. And so in your mind, did you think, I mean, it's hard for me to assume that you were like, oh, this is good. He's going to be my boyfriend at that point.
No, we like barely spoke to each other. Like I said, he was really shy. Which was apparently weird for him. So I guess he was intimidated by me or something. But we maybe said like a sentence to each other. like the whole time.
But so is that normal for you to just like openly like have sex with somebody you just met on a first date?
It depends on the person. Like, yeah,
Sure.
if I find you attractive, and like he was friends with my friends too, so I think I felt very comfortable with him because like we all had all the same friends, and these are like my best friends. So like I just automatically felt comfortable with him because obviously like if they are close with him, then like, you know, he's probably a good guy.
How many relationships have you been in?
2.
So him and another person.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How long was that going on?
9 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What's the story behind that one?
We started dating when I was like 16. We broke up 8 months before I met my boyfriend now. And yeah, it just like, I think we should have broke up way before, like at like 4 years, to be honest. It just like carried on because we were comfortable, and I just felt really bad about the situation, like leaving him, and we grew up with all the same friends, so it was just going to be like messy, and so I just kept going and going and going.
So he was a part of when you started OnlyFans?
Yes, I did content with him.
Oh, you did content with him as well. Was he okay, how was the ending like?
It was pretty rocky. I broke up with him, and it was rocky for like the first couple months because he was like sad and like would make me feel guilty. He went back to Georgia, where we're from, and I stayed here. We were actually living in Vegas together. I moved to LA. And he just like would bother me and like call me all the time, and like it was pretty rocky. And then like he would get our friends involved, and like I've known these friends for as long as I knew him, so 9 years. And he would get like it all like messy and tangled, and so that was like horrible. And then when I started talking to Cody, my current boyfriend, he would email me and like text me, and like it was just just craziness.
He emailed you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god! Did he send you a LinkedIn message?
No.
No, I mean she probably had him like blocked or something.
I kept blocking, and then I was just in Europe with my boyfriend Cody, and I went live on TikTok, and this was just like 3 months ago, and he like messaged me on the live, like where I could see it, and so then I had to block him on that. I miss you or something like that. Just immediately blocked.
I mean, obviously you completely don't feel the same.
No.
But he's obsessed.
I think he's finally moved on. He
was obsessed.
Yes.
For a while.
I hope he moved on.
Did he do anything crazy aside from just like reaching out whenever you block him, or?
No, just annoying. Just like making me feel bad. Like obviously, I mean, I felt horrible. Yeah, because like I've known this person for so long. Right. Like we grew up together. The friend thing was really shitty too, because like now none of them talk to me. So lost all those friends.
What?
So,
That's shitty.
Yeah. So
it happens a lot. I see this happen where there's a girl, we're in her high school, right? You don't have access to a lot of people. Like it's pretty much your high school. You have no experience with relationships. You don't know what guys are good guys, what guys are like, you know, kind of like simps, blah, blah, blah. So you fall for some guy. And then after college, it's like, oh shit, I'm hot. And girls will always say the same thing. They say, oh, I outgrew him. That's how they describe it usually. And it means like, oh, you realize you have better options out there. And like this guy, like, yeah, it's like my high school sweetheart, but like he's kind of lame. You know what I mean? And I think girls start to feel that, but then they have this inertia of like this connection that you built because you spent 2 years together in high school or whatever. They're your best friend, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with that. I will say that like we had issues that led me to outgrow him, which made me feel better than him, like you were saying.
What were the issues? What do you mean issues?
He was just very lazy, not motivated. He definitely took advantage of like me making the money. Wasn't a partner at all. Like barely could get him to do anything. He just played video games all day. He wouldn't like be lovey with me. He wasn't romantic with me. Just not like the partner that I needed and wanted. And I would like say stuff like, hey, like I'm really sad. Like it's getting to a point where like I'm not happy. Like can you please like do these things? And that went on for years. And he would just be like, yeah, I'll change. Yeah, I'll do that. And then never did. Mm-hmm. So then I outgrew him because I did realize I was better, and that I could find another man that would do all those things.
And that, I think, is a big problem where like society for some reason has this like moral code of like, oh, you're supposed to want somebody for pure connection and that's it. It's not supposed to be like success, a soulmate, money, blah blah blah, like all this other stuff. And I'm like, none of that makes sense, because people are attracted and feel a connection to people that are high up on the social hierarchy. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like girls are attracted to guys who are successful, ambitious, rich, good looking, blah 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 blah. Yeah. And guys are attracted to girls who are good looking and like hopefully have a good personality too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't say necessary for me, like they need to be rich by any means. Again, I just like want that partnership. Like I want us to like bounce ideas off each other, better each other. You know, if we have a business together, it's not me just doing everything. Like they're putting in their like, you know, sense too. Like they're helping as well. Like I just want like, you know, a partnership. Like, cause to me, if we like go to have kids, like I'm thinking about like, is this going to be me raising these kids the entire time? Or do I actually have like a partner that's going to help me make these like tough decisions when it comes to like those conversations you guys were talking about and stuff like that?
Well, I think you guys met pretty early on where it, you know, your judgment at that time wouldn't have been as accurate based upon the fact that you both were growing up and becoming adults and sort of getting to know who you are as people. Whereas I don't particularly agree with the fact that, you know, relationships should be that surface level where, you know, as soon as somebody else is making more money than you or becomes more attractive, then you just like end the relationship and walk away. Yeah. Because there has to be some level of loyalty and commitment. Otherwise, if hardships come and something happens to me tomorrow, I get hit by a bus and I can't walk anymore. Yeah. I'm on wheelchair, and it's like, you know, my partner is like, oh, well, adios, I'm out, you know, and that's just, that doesn't, and you could go through mental hardship at any moment. Yeah.
A thing that my boyfriend says to me, especially when we first started dating, is like, he's like, there's a million beautiful girls out there, especially like blonde, blue-eyed. He's like, I love you for like you, like inside of you. Like when we're 80 years old and we're sitting there like on the porch, like he's like, I'm connected to you. I'm going to have that conversation with you and feel connected to you. Like it's not going to matter if you were beautiful like in your 20s. And I think that's like a good, like you're saying, like you have to have like a deeper connection. But I do agree with you that most women do leave it at like, if they're successful, if they can give me these things in life, and that's to them like the partnership.
Well, this is what I tell people. I'm like, in real life, right? Not in fairy tale land and Disneyland where everybody's brains live, right? But in real life, people say, oh, connection is like the thing that holds you together. But I'm like, how many girls have I met that say, oh, I broke with my boyfriend because we lost a connection? Hundreds. Like that's like the main reason girls, but we lost a connection. I fell out of love with him, like something like that. Versus I've never heard a girl say, I broke up with my boyfriend because he lost his money. Yeah. So like if a girl wants me for my money, it's like my money's going to last forever. Even worst case scenario, like I lose all my money in some horrible car accident or something, I could just get another job and make the money. I could start another business, make the money. Like money is forever. You know what I mean? Or connection like fades. Oh, like I'm on my period this month.
I don't think they lose connection. I think people in the relationship stop trying. Like a marriage is hard. It takes two people. It's not easy. It's not a soulmate. Those aren't real. Like I agree. Yeah. It like your partnership. Like you're working for this marriage. And I think when they lose connection, it's because someone stopped trying. And sometimes, so they're not working for it anymore.
But see, I see that happen sometimes, but I also see the opposite happen where a guy's like being too much of a simp and the girl just kind of like gets the ick and like falls out of love with him. And it's like no matter how much harder the guy tries, and in fact, him trying harder actually makes it worse.
Well, those girls like, are weird.
Super simp, you know what I mean?
You should want someone who loves you. I think that's weird.
You should want someone who loves you, but like not too much of a simp. you know.
I like it. I like the romanticness and the sweetness, and I like a gentleman type of man.
Yeah, but also, is your guy 6'5" and good looking?
He's 6 foot and he is good looking, yes.
There you go. That's the reason.
Yeah, but there's something beyond. Connection is only one criteria in a successful relationship.
Mm-hmm.
There are multiple different categories, and if you check most of those boxes, you end up wanting to be with that person because there is attraction.
Yeah.
But ultimately, all it comes down to is whether you're going to be loyal and committed to this person, and your thought process based upon what you're expecting from them is not so surface level, so that the minute you stop getting fulfillment, that you start walking away and you forget every single thing that was good. If every relationship is supposed to be always good 100% of the time, you're never going to end up being in a relationship for longer than a year.
Yeah.
Because that honeymoon phase starts to fade away, and then you're like, well, onto the next one. And that's the biggest problem that Gen Z is having right now, because every single relationship they're in is based upon validation and feeling good about themselves. And as soon as that's over, they're like, oh, I guess this relationship was wrong and it just wasn't going to work. Mm-hmm. And so they start looking for something else.
Yeah.
The one thing that you mentioned that was interesting to me was Cody tells you that he wants to be with you up until like you're 80 years old, and you know, like he only cares about. Do you feel the same?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if things get difficult,
mm-hmm.
you feel like you would stay committed and loyal, and you would push through the hardships.
Mm-hmm. 100%. I'm that kind of person. I mean, I was like that in the last relationship. I mean, it was horrible for years, but I would never cheat. It took a lot, or anything like that. It took a lot for me to even at the point to break up with him, because I just wanted to keep trying and keep trying and keep trying. But I mean, there comes a point where like, I know it's two-sided. Like if he's not going to try, then like I have to, you know,
there's
walk
only
away.
so much you can do.
Yes.
And so between, what was it? You said 5 months or 8 months in between?
In between 8 months.
8 months. And did you date anybody? Well, first of all, were you with anybody else sexually in between those times?
Yes,
I was. Okay. And then, so you sort of had the experience, because in my mind for a second I was like, oh, has she only been with like two people?
Like, bless her heart. No, I had time in between.
Okay. So this wasn't a particularly right away rebound.
No. I hooked up with people in between for sure, just like out at the bars and different things like that. I mean, how I met him was like just like a one night hookup, like obviously on the balcony and stuff, but.
And that balcony.
And then it led to more.
That's funny. I saw that you were on the whatever podcast yesterday, was it? How was that experience?
It was crazy. So the women were all very different.
How many were there?
I think there was like 7 of us, I believe. Everyone was extremely different. All different types of women, look-wise and like mentally. So that was very interesting. And the guys are very interesting. I actually enjoyed the conversation. I feel like a lot of women go on there and like hate it, because it's definitely like set up to make women look stupid, and like the whole like you know what they're doing.
It's like alley-oop and the dunk, baby.
You know what they're doing.
Well, yes and no. I think Brian is fairly intelligent.
Oh, he is.
And
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, and I think he's probably one of those people that doesn't go into it wanting to dunk, but more so wants to have a productive conversation and see where the other person is coming from. And I think most of the content that I've seen, the women just like kind of dig their own grave. It's just like when I listen, I'm like, I don't understand where this logic comes from, you know, or if there is logic at all.
Yeah,
it's
I
girl
agree.
Math. Yeah, girl
right.
Math.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, it was very interesting to me. I definitely don't agree on a lot of the views of the men holding the podcast, but
you don't agree, or you do?
Don't agree. Not that, like, again, I don't really think there's a right and wrong with certain stuff like that. I'm not too intense about that kind of stuff. I like to like hear different sides. So for me, it was really fun. I was like, this is very interesting to see another side of like sex work, and one of the dudes on there is very religious, so that was like interesting.
That part is like, I'm like, what? Like everything else, they're like, yes, facts and logic. We use our brains and not our hearts. Like we don't believe things unless we see physical evidence and 3
religion.
studies. And they're like, yeah, there's a magical thing in the sky that fucking drops everything on us.
Like I said, it was interesting. Like I really did enjoy the conversation. I don't think I really like argued, like debated, like it's supposed to be like kind of set up. Like I just like wanted to learn more. And I feel like the reason girls like look bad on there is because they go on there and he says something that could offend them, which fair enough. But instead of asking like, okay, why do you feel that way? Or like, what makes you think that way? They immediately just like, oh my God, like, duh, like, can't believe that. Like, why would you say that? Like, duh, and freak out. And it's like, I actually want to know, like, what makes him think that way?
All right, let me ask you this. So did you get to meet the girls beforehand?
No, I didn't even know there was going to be other girls, to be honest.
You literally just showed up. Sit in that seat. There's like 6 girls.
Oh, come on. You've seen the podcast. There's no way you would have thought.
Yeah, but he didn't mention anything. So I was just like, oh, I don't know. Like, I don't know his intentions or like what it was going to be. And like, I've never done a group podcast. So I just like, I mean, it was in my mind that it could maybe be that, but I didn't know for sure. And he didn't say anything.
Got it.
I met all the girls right there when we showed up. They were all extremely nice. Definitely different personalities and stuff, but they were very sweet girls.
Because I always wonder if like some of them intentionally like get more mad or dumb themselves down so they get on the clips then people like, I always wonder how much
I don't think anybody intentionally dumbs themselves
oh my gosh, yes they do.
You think so?
Oh yes they do. It's marketing. Like that's the annoying part about OnlyFans girls is it's all about marketing. It's all about strategy. It's like, how do I like get seen more and pushed more? And even if it's bad, it's good.
But some girls I met in real life that are just as dumb. So that's why I'm not sure. Because some girls are like really dumb. Actually, some guys are too.
Yeah.
But I just meet more girls that are, I think.
A little more dumb. Or they're more vocal about being
Maybe
dumb.
That's it, yeah.
Was there any moment that you felt offended or was the whole thing...
I mean, I got roasted a couple times.
About what?
Like plastic surgery.
What about, you got your nose done?
Yeah, I've had my nose done and my boobs done. Sure. I was wearing a more booby shirt yesterday. But yeah. But yeah, I mean, I don't really get like bent about that kind of stuff. Like it doesn't.
What did they say about?
I can't remember
plastic
exactly,
surgery,
but like you know how they like have the people like say a comment or whatever, just like, you know, I don't know, I'm going to hell, like
for having plastic surgery.
Yeah, like the dudes themselves running the podcast, they don't like plastic surgery. We had a whole discussion about how like makeup shouldn't be a thing. It was just like,
wait, they're against plastic surgery and makeup?
Yes, they don't.
They would be for that. Like,
no, they don't like it.
Dudes?
Well, the one dude was religious, so I think that's like part of it. And then obviously they don't like sex work and like all that kind of stuff. But yeah. No,
I'm very pro plastic surgery. Yeah, like if you have like really small boobs and you want to fix it,
I don't find a problem with it.
I would have voted for Obamacare if it was in that shit. You know what I mean? Like, I think that should be free for every American. You know?
I don't have a problem with it. And like, they were asking questions like, what if a dude like showed up to a date and he had like inserts in his shoes, and then you found out later like he was shorter? And it's like, I mean, if he wanted to do that, like that's like his thing. I don't like that wouldn't bother me.
But what's weird to me is like, okay, we all do things to try to make ourselves look better. Like, I'm sure they wouldn't argue like, oh, what if a guy like you should have good fashion, right? Wear like jeans that fit you, wear like a nice shirt, whatever.
Well, that's what I was kind of getting at. I was like, where do you guys draw the line? Like, is going to the dentist like part of this?
Yeah,
like,
that's a great argument.
You know what I mean? Because they're like all about like how makeup's lying and like, and I can see their point because there are those like crazy videos out there where you see and the girl's like completely transforming and you're just like, whoa, that's crazy. But like, I don't know. It's just like, and they're all about like you should better yourself and be better and like go to gym and do that, and it's like, okay, like, so that's like wanting to make yourself look good for other people. So what's the difference between putting on makeup to want to make yourself look good for other people?
Well, I would say that there is an argument to be made with regards to what is you, and cleanliness and taking care of yourself is a completely different category than using external objects.
Yeah, because one's like a health benefit, and then
not even just health benefit, right? Like brushing your teeth, or like getting a haircut, or like shaving, right? Trimming your face, whatever the case is. Those things is not changing who you are, right? That it's basically your facial, grooming. Yeah. It's just you cleaning yourself up and just taking care of yourself, right? Whereas you adding makeup changes the perception of a way that somebody looks at you. Because if I'm constantly shaven, right, and let's say I don't shave for a day, and then or like for a week or whatever, right? Now I have facial hair. And somebody looks at me and they're like, oh, well, you're not as attractive, right? And I'd be like, oh, okay, well, here it is, me shaving myself again. Yeah. I haven't altered who I am, right? This is still a part of who I am. Yeah. Whereas makeup is not really a natural thing, because men don't put makeup on.
No. You're completely drawing a line that doesn't exist.
Of course it exists.
It exists for people.
You think cavemen had razors and shaving their face?
But we're not cavemen.
I know. So a razor is not a natural thing. Neither is hair gel. Neither is soap. Like,
no, it's comparing apples to apples. Whereas if women and men have the same abilities, which is me taking care of my face the way that it is, and then the woman taking care of their face the way that it is, taking care of your hair, taking care of your teeth, right? It's all even. Where it becomes uneven is one group is putting makeup on, which is altering the way that they look completely.
Like everything
and the other
else
group,
that we do.
What?
Do you whiten your teeth? Do you?
I'm saying, but they're equal.
I think they're comparing. So like the point of the podcast yesterday was definitely like trying to like level the playing field, like you're saying. Like they're trying to be like.
See, this is what it seems like to me. People who are scared of competition, instead of out competing someone, they say, oh, no, they shouldn't all do the things that make them look better. You shouldn't do the things that make you more attractive, because I don't want to do those things. So instead of competing and fucking manning up and like, they say, oh, no, everybody else should stop doing it. That's what it feels like to me.
I
want girls to wear makeup. They look more attractive with makeup. Like what?
For me, like the reason why it was so entertaining is just because like I just like don't look that intense of like stuff like that. Like I just never would be like, oh shit, like I don't know, like it's just like so like.
Let me get this straight. So you don't mind a girl shows up and she's like the most beautiful girl you've ever seen, and then you guys hook up. The next day she wakes up, goes like washes her face, and then comes back to the room and it's like the most horrendous looking person.
So she starts at a 10, she goes to a 5 without the makeup.
Sure.
Okay, so would you prefer that she just looks like a 5 when you're out on a date? You're going there, you're embarrassed, all your friends see you. Oh my God, I would rather her at least look like a 10 some of the time.
No, I prefer her being like an 8 and then go up to like a 9, which is like look at her. Like she's not, like she could put makeup on.
Yeah.
And like it could be excessive makeup, but then if she took off her makeup, she's not going to look like a completely different person.
Of course you would prefer
I do agree
8.
There should be like, but again, I don't have much to say on it just because I don't care that much about like what other people do with their time and themselves. But I do think like me personally, like I would wear very natural makeup. I'm not one into like fake eyelashes and like, the whole like contouring and stuff. So for me personally, I do see like a man's point of view, like, wow, that's like a big difference and stuff like that. Cause I'm just not into that look either. But again, like, I just don't feel like it should even be like a discussion.
I have a perfect analogy that's going to destroy your entire argument in one fell swoop. Do you have more respect for a guy who is a millionaire because his mommy and his daddy gave him money when he was little and gave him a trust fund? Or do you have more respect for somebody who fucking worked for it every day in and day out, and they're a millionaire because they did it. They put in the work.
The latter.
Okay. So as opposed to someone who just got something for nothing, you prefer the latter. You have respect for it, right?
Okay.
Okay, so success and money is how guys are attractive for the most part, right?
Mm-hmm.
Girls are attractive for their looks. So if a girl's just naturally beautiful, like, great, you're in the genetic trust fund. You got the big trust fund. You're an 8. You just woke up and you're an 8. Oh, I don't have to do makeup. Why do you guys do all this makeup, right? But imagine you wake up and you're a 4, and you're just walking around looking like Shrek all day. What are you supposed to do? You got to change yourself, or just marry a broke dude, go to Applebee's every night, fucking get the coupon book out.
The argument that you could alter yourself because your God-given genes weren't really good enough is what's deceiving.
But
I think what he's trying to say is it gives people a fighting chance that maybe feel bad, like, walking around today because, like, of so many different changes that it's like too far gone. Like, you can't just, like, be like, oh, no one should wear makeup now. Like, it's like we've already seen what it looks like with makeup and stuff. I feel like that would just be
because there are some excessive shit nowadays. Like,
yeah, it's like too far
shit
gone.
You could do with makeup is insane. You could like the contouring, and it's like the line. Put the line over here. Put this over. It's like now you're just painting yourself.
Yeah.
Into a completely different person.
But my point is, the negative is not that, oh, she was so much makeup. The negative is she was just ugly to start with. If they were hot to start with, if they were super hot and they were already a 9, they wouldn't have to do. They could. I do natural makeup, right? Oh, I just do natural makeup. The reason they're doing all that is they might be like a 4, and they have to. How else are you going to compete? I see what you're saying.
You feel for them. You like want them to feel good.
Yeah, I do.
You're like, if she wants to look good, let her look good.
I believe in a meritocracy. If you want something, you can work for it. Not this bullshit hierarchy, fucking caste system of, oh, you got born as an 8, great, you can get all the benefits. Everybody else, you, right? That's pretty much what you're saying.
I see your point. I really do. I do see your point, and a part of me feels that way too, and that's why I don't really feel like it should even be discussed. Because if someone wants to change the looks, go change your looks, man. Like, that's your thing.
I agree.
And like, if it makes them feel good, it makes them feel good. Again, I think it's too far gone to try to rewind and do the whole natural look now. Like, there shouldn't be makeup. You shouldn't dye your hair, like all that kind of stuff. Like, we all know what each other look like already with all that stuff.
Yeah, I don't think there should. I don't think there should be any shoulds or shouldn'ts.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's more so a reasonable understanding that, like, hey, if you're, and it's fine if you're like going out, you know, to the club, you know, and you don't, whatever, like, do whatever you got to do to make yourself feel good. But I think if you're trying to see, like, if you're dating a guy, right, you get asked out or whatever, and then your first impression is going to be, because it's like, you know, it's hard to maintain, right? Like, for a guy, like, for me, I'm going to feel bad, right, if I met somebody and they looked a certain way the first time I met them, and then the next day I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, like,
you know.
what's going on?
But the thing is, like, now we're kind of becoming a lot better than recognizing it too. Like, as soon as I see a girl, and I could tell the difference between like a lot of makeup, and like I could tell that you don't have that much makeup on.
Yeah.
Whereas like I meet somebody and I could like, I see videos, they pop up, you know what I mean? So you could tell, oh, like there's this. So and also they hug you.
Oh,
right?
yeah, and it leaves
that is annoying.
And it like leaves a bunch of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so nowadays when I hug girls, as soon as I see them, I could tell, and especially if they're not very good at it, you could really tell that they have a lot of makeup on, because it's all like kind of botchy and shit.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh yeah, like don't, you know?
I just hug them and then just immediately Venmo request for the dry clean after. I just immediately Venmo request.
I have white sheets. Like I like my sheets to be white, and there was this girl that I used to hang out with that she would like come over and like we'd hook up or whatever. Every single time the next day,
on
fake self tanner.
Oh yeah, that one's
makeup, fucking lipstick, you know, eyelash, whatever, and it's just a complete disaster. Like it was a fucking rainbow on my fucking sheets, you know.
At least you can bleach them.
Right. I mean, that's, you know, but that's the thing. If you have bad quality sheets and towels, then you just can't even get them out.
Yeah, it's
you know,
just
luckily mine wasn't too bad and I was able to get them all out. But it's just, you know, at some point it becomes inconvenient, you know? But yeah, it now as soon as I see one, I'm just like, oh yeah, you're not worth the trouble. I'm gonna walk away.
I remember those days. I feel like every girl, well, some stay like that, but every girl has like a phase, especially when they move to LA and everyone's so done up here and like it's like a thing where they go through the spray tan, the crazy nails and like extensions and like all that kind of stuff. And eventually I feel like as you get older, you grow out of it because you start to like understand that like it's not like most people don't like that. Like it's a little too much. Like I think they feel pretty, so then they think everyone thinks they look pretty. But how I would explain it is they look good. Like like when you go to the bar and you see a girl and she's very done up, she looks good. Is she pretty? I don't know. Mm-hmm. But she looks good. She's good at making herself look good.
You seem like somebody that would have gotten thrown into the whole celeb and clout scene when you got to LA.
Why?
Did that not happen?
Like I went out and stuff like that. You mean like that kind of scene?
Sure, but I mean, did you ever get like connected enough or cared to connect enough in order to sort of climb the ladder or get to know some celebrities or get to know some people with clout?
If it happened naturally, like I really did enjoy like the people I was connecting with, then yeah, sure. But that never happened because honestly, I never really enjoyed anyone. No one that's like in this industry. There are good people, but a lot of them aren't like really my type, and I have kind of a mouth, so like I'm not very okay with like the kind of attitude that certain people can have.
You have a mouth?
Yeah, I just like...
You seem like you have the opposite of that. Like,
really?
Yeah, you're always like, yeah, you know, I don't want to judge them. If they're okay doing it, then that's fine.
Yeah,
like, you seem like you like...
Yeah, you do seem pretty chill. Are you faking
it? Thank you. No, I think I am chill. Like, I'm like laid back. Like, I'm definitely like kind of more of like a hippie mindset, I guess, to extent without the like hippie look.
Sure.
But as far as like the attitudes here in LA, especially with men, like I'm not like really into that because like I don't feel like I really need to like kiss ass basically.
What's men's attitude in LA?
I feel like a lot of them are just very like ego and very like belittling to women here because I mean they can be, women allow them to be. Not saying you guys are by any means. I just mean like in the nightlife, like promoters and like that kind of scene.
Wait, what's wrong with promoters?
Are you a promoter?
Well, it used to be.
Mo does belittle a lot of people. He's one of the biggest.
There are some cool promoters. I'm not going to judge the whole thing, but I'm just saying most of them.
What do you mean I'm the biggest belittler? I can't even say belittler.
Belittler.
I just thought it was a funny word, to be honest.
But yeah, I just think they have like an attitude, you know? They just think they're like the shit. And they just get a little sassy. So then I'll get sassy back because I'll be like, wait, dude, like.
Wait, who was getting sassy with you? I'm so confused. Tell me these stories. Give us some context.
Think of stories. I mean, I was young, like just different shit. Like, I used to live in promoter houses. Yeah, so just like crap like that. And it's just like,
Who's?
I mean, I'm Franco's.
Interesting. You don't like Franco?
No, we don't have the best.
Really?
What happened? I haven't been involved in that world in like years,
Franco hasn't been around.
Because I'm older. Yeah. And that shows how much older I am.
You're not
Franco's.
that old. You're 27.
Yeah, but for LA, like these girls are like, yeah. But yeah, Franco's I lived in for a little bit. I lived in Ralph's. I don't even know if he like.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, that was like he maybe was doing something for like 6 months. But yeah, I mean they just have like attitudes, and like I'll have an attitude back. I get sassy.
I'm surprised we never met. That's
crazy. I know, weird.
Interesting. But so your experience with Franco. So you don't talk to Franco because what happened?
No, I got kicked out of the house, and then
why?
such a long story, but like just girl drama, like girls just being crazy, like actually like
Girls being crazy or you being crazy?
girls being crazy, and I'm calling them out on their crazy because I was just like, this
What
is
did
fucking
they
insane.
do?
Putting cereal in beds and getting pissed because a phone charger was like in their room. I'm so serious, like literally insane shit that I'm just like, what is actually going on now? Like this is insane.
Yeah, we've talked about doing a reality show around Model House.
Oh yeah.
Because we actually had a model house. I had a model house prior when we became business partners for like 6 years or something. And at one point, I had like 10 girls in the place. I never lived in the same place because it just would have been chaotic, and I just couldn't do it. But yeah, shit becomes pretty crazy.
Oh yeah, they get like those girls are like nuts. I think me and like 2 other girls were like normal, and then like and we kind of like vibed with each other, and it was just like, you know, just like normal. Like we weren't like best friends, but like, you know, just enjoyed each other's time and stuff. And then all the other girls were like cracked out all the time and like just freaking crazy. I was like, oh my god, maybe you should like stop doing the drugs and like.
But how come you got kicked out and not them?
Because he was f***ing the girl. So yeah, I mean, I kind of knew it was happening. I was already ready on it. So yeah.
So, but this is while you were with your 9 years boyfriend.
Yes.
So you weren't really like down to, you know, hook up with other.
Like hook up. No, I was faithful the entire 9 years. Yeah.
Interesting. Was your ex at all like insecure about the whole situation, or?
I think he was, but he was never vocal about it. But I think that's kind of like stuff just started building up, and I think that's what led to the laziness and the unmotivation, because he didn't feel like a man because I was like doing these things.
So one could argue that you destroyed him.
Yeah, maybe. I think he would argue that, yeah. But like he never was vocal, and I was young, so like I was, you know, doing my thing, doing my career, focusing on getting money for like our future, and being successful for our future. So I just like wasn't really like picking up clues or noticing, I guess. And then as we started getting older, we did long distance for a very long time as well. And then when we moved to Vegas, that was our first like year together, like actually the entire year together in a very long time. So I think that's when I started to notice like, oh shit, this dude like definitely doesn't feel like a man. And like I feel like it's part of like how our relationship was.
Yeah, but having lived in Franco's model house, you would have come across a bunch of celebrities.
Oh yeah, I've seen like I've gone out and like seen stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so you were in that scene. Because
yeah,
at first when I asked
had to go out.
You were like, oh no, I was like, what are you talking about?
I
wasn't involved in that scene at all.
Like I think you meant a scene like where I like used it to like better my career, I guess. Like I never did that. Like I went out because I had to go out, or like even if I just enjoyed go out and saw celebrities, yeah. Right. But I didn't like ever like try to network and like talk to them or like them or like anything.
But I feel like a lot of the girls in his model house did.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's why we were different personalities.
Interesting.
Not my vibe.
Very interesting. So then what was the goal really?
Save money. Yeah. I was cheap. I was young. It was just to save money.
But during that time you were doing the magazine?
No. So during that time I was a regular model. I was doing fashion modeling. I was with agencies and stuff like that, like high fashion type style stuff. And then I just started Patreon.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. So this was your way of just like saving up as much as you can and then figure out what the next thing is. Yeah,
and I was young, so like if I needed to go out 3 nights, like fuck, that's not that hard. Like,
yeah.
I didn't do that. No, I would die.
I had a girl that lived in the model house for about a year, I think. And she was pretty much doing the same thing, just saving up, and ended up buying her own house in the valley. Yeah. Afterwards, so I was like, "Ciao, I'm proud of you."
The next year I came, I got my own place, so nice. It was like, and I was living in Georgia at the time. I was going back and forth, so I didn't want to like go to LA and like roll the dice at my career and like try to figure out paying rent and staying somewhere for like I don't know how long. and waste that money, because it was just like still like risky, and like I didn't know. Yeah.
If you could change one thing about yourself, what would it be?
Like look wise or
anything?
Personality?
Why don't you say one external, one internal?
Look wise, I really hate my hooded eyelids. I would like my eyelids not to be hooded.
Okay. Sure. That's an easy fix, but okay.
Yeah. And then like personality wise.
Do you say I don't know what that means?
It's like this part.
Yeah.
So you have hooded eyelids.
I thought everybody does.
No.
Some people can't.
There's
close
a
their eyes,
surgery for it.
Yeah.
Is yours hooded?
His are slightly. Yours are more.
See, like I'll show you in the mirror later.
Yeah. We all have hooded eyelids. Yours aren't as
I'm gonna
very
be fucking
hooded
insecure about my eyelids. I was never insecure before.
When I show you, you can't unsee it.
You can't see it.
Yeah,
It's
you're
annoying.
gonna be like, fuck,
No,
you
I'm
shouldn't
like,
have told me.
Yeah. And then personality wise, I would have to say, I wish I was better at like speaking and expressing myself. I feel like
Articulation.
Yes. Yeah.
Interesting. That's also an easy fix.
Mm-hmm.
You just need to read more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I hate doing, so that would explain that.
Read and repetition.
They got audiobooks now,
Yeah. But other than that, I'm pretty chill.
Interesting. I feel like you've said a lot of wild shit so far, but aside from the balcony story, what's the wildest thing you've done? Because I feel like that's the wildest thing anybody could have done, but...
Oh, no. So,
That's light work, Mo. That's light work.
I've done some crazy things for sure. I mean,
line them up.
I just feel like my whole life is like very crazy. So I moved out at 18 and moved to Miami. Lived with promoters in Miami. 3 Brazilian men for like 3 months. Lost all my money because I like all of a sudden decided like I was into shopping. Had to move back home. Then I moved to Mexico. I lived in Mexico for a year. And then that was crazy partying phase of mine. The first time I ever did drugs was when I lived in Miami, actually. So that's when I got introduced to like that side of going out. And then in Mexico.
All while with your ex-boyfriend.
Yes.
You never cheated.
No.
Continue.
You don't believe me?
It's not that I don't believe you. It's hard to believe, but I'm going to choose to believe you because then, why else would you lie? But continue.
Yeah. So yeah, I lived in Mexico. I lived in a model house through the agency with 30 girls.
That's crazy.
How many bedrooms?
Oh, I don't know. It was a house. So
like
it was
how
like,
many people per
It
bedroom?
would have been 4 at least.
Yeah, mine had 4. Some had 2. There's one with 5. It just like depend on the
So like
yeah.
7 or 8 bedrooms. It must have been.
Like bunk beds and stuff?
It was a 3-level house.
Jeez.
There was girls who like lived on the roof. It was like, I don't think it was supposed to be a room.
That's crazy.
It was definitely like
a tent.
a
like,
maid. Yeah, it was like a maid attic for sure. Like where you put brooms and stuff. But like they like turned it into a room. Fucking crazy.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so I lived in Mexico for about a year, ran around, partied, stuff like that. Got drugged. So that kind of like put a stop in that because I was like, oh shit, I probably like, that was dangerous. So then I came and lived in LA, started partying again, and I lived in the promoter houses. And then I got roommates and lived with 2 men that I'm still friends with to this day. And then, yeah, that's like my life story. Moved to Vegas during COVID because like this place sucked. And then, yeah, I think as far as like sexually the craziest thing I've done, I mean, like I said, me and my boyfriend do like in public stuff. So like every time we have sex is crazy.
Like where in public? Like what's the...
Oh, anywhere we can. Our recent thing that actually just came out on Daily Mail was that we fucked in the Cardinals Stadium parking lot.
Like in a car or just in the parking lot?
In our car.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, not just like standing there in the parking lot. But
Wait,
like,
how did it come out on Daily Mail?
I like talked to them and like sent them the story.
Got it.
Yeah.
Leaked story.
I leaked it.
I'm not one of those girls that's gonna be like, oh, I don't know, like how to get out there. Like, no, I told them.
I leaked it. We should start leaking stuff.
Yeah, we gotta start leaking.
Yeah,
stuff.
we gotta start leaking more shit.
Exclusive. Zach Evans has 8.5-inch penis. Crazy ex-girlfriend leaks it apparently.
But yeah, so that was our like most recent crazy thing. We f***ed at the Grand Canyon recently, and that was probably like my favorite because I mean it was beautiful, and we like had a really sick spot that we could like do it at. We've done like airport. Oh no, this was the craziest and like my favorite. So we were flying. We went to Europe. We lived in Europe for like 4 months in an RV and just like traveled all of Europe this summer. And we were flying to Europe. It took like 20 hours. We get to Germany, and then we have to fly from Germany to Italy. And we haven't slept for like 2 days. We have our dog too. It's just like stressful and annoying. And we're on like this little shitty plane. Like, what is that airline called there? The like EasyJet. That's like super shitty, and it's like going from Germany to Italy. And he fingered me while we were in the seat. And we're like half awake. Like, I was so gross too. We've been flying for like so long and haven't showered. I'm like baby wiping in the bathroom. That's about as best as it's getting. And he fingered me, and it was amazing. That was probably the craziest because it was like super intimate plane. Like, it was really small. The lady was still like walking and stuff.
There were 2 seats per aisle. Okay.
Yeah, it was tiny.
Interesting
and I was like,
stuff. How much money did you guys spend on during the 4 month in Europe?
Europe? Oh, like not that much. Living in an RV is extremely cheap. So we like spent the money on the RV. It was like,
so like how much would you say the whole travel?
The whole trip? Probably like 20 grand.
4 months.
So it's like normal living. Yeah.
If you spend like $5,000 a month.
Yeah, because we spent 10 grand on the RV for the 4 months. They gave us like a sick deal because they were Italian, and Italians are amazing. And so we had so that was like what? That's like 3,000 a month or something.
3,300.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. For 4 months.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something like that. So that's like rent. That's like normal rent, and then just
like
our
2,500, but
yeah, like food and stuff like that. So really not that expensive.
Did you hear about the whole Uber driver story?
No.
So I've never signed up for anybody's OnlyFans or paid any kind of money for Pornhub or nothing, right? Mm-hmm. This is the one thing that got me curious about maybe I'll fucking spend the money on this shit. This chick was on OnlyFans. She would literally call Ubers, and she would just bang the Uber driver. Like random Uber drivers. It was like every Uber driver's dream, yeah.
Okay, wait, but do you believe this?
Well, I do, because she got kicked off of Uber, and then she got kicked off of OnlyFans.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Otherwise, I wouldn't believe it.
Because I've done a story before with my ex where I pretend he was an Uber driver.
Yeah.
Because like he never showed face. Like my boyfriend now, like he shows face, and like they know who he is. But like my ex, we like pretend he was an Uber driver, and he like picked me up. So I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, there's a whole story about it. She got kicked off. Like
that's sketch.
But the thing is, she had a 5-star rating before she got kicked off, so it must have been like pretty good sex. The thing that's weird though is like, what guy reported her? I'm like, every single Uber driver, that's their dream.
Yeah.
That they walk in a hot ass girl. Hey, like that's like they probably think about that 99% of the time when they're like driving like the Uber.
And a cute girl gets in.
Wouldn't that be more reason to think that it was fake?
I mean, maybe, but there's like stories about it. Oh, she got kicked off of these platforms.
Blah, but the whole point of leaking something like this is for it to go viral.
Maybe.
Exaggerated.
If they really would have had to put a lot of time to like making it look
People
fake,
do
or
though.
making it look real.
It's like,
because think about it. This girl is now blowing up for being the girl who's willing to Uber drivers, making all her OnlyFans fans think that she would be down. And then she
probably like releases those videos being like, this is the video that got
look,
me
there's a
kicked
possibility
off.
you could have me.
And you're pissed off about that?
Who's pissed off about
you.
it? Would I be pissed off about it? If I was the Uber driver?
No. Right now, are you pissed off about this story?
No, I don't give a fuck about this story.
Okay. So here's what I don't get, Mo. You were telling me she faked this thing. The entire thing was fake. The article was fake. All that's fake. Oh, I don't care. Oh, a girl wore eyeliner. Oh, I'm so mad. Why does she wear eyeliner?
I'm not mad at it. I'm just saying, like, that's... I would prefer to meet somebody and
Wait, what's this eyeliner thing?
He's
makeup
going back to the whole
Oh,
makeup.
the makeup.
thing.
Oh, okay,
He's trying to dunk on me.
I thought you just
I'm trying to
meant
dunk on you.
eyeliner. I was like, why eyeliner?
This is what's interesting about our podcast is like we never dunk on girls or our guests. We always dunk on each other. That's the thing about our show.
Yeah. But most very easy to dunk on. So, yeah,
sure, if you say so. Yeah,
like
no.
Layup.
I don't think so. The best advice you've ever gotten.
Me? As far as like my career, I think the best advice I got is once you put something on the internet, it's on there forever. So make sure you want to fucking do it. And then as far as life is travel while you can.
That's a good one. Final question. Is the green bubble a red flag?
Green bubble, what's that?
If you meet a guy, he texts you, the bubble's green.
Oh, like Android?
Yeah, like an Android phone, yeah.
I wouldn't say it's a red flag. It could possibly be a green flag because that could maybe mean he doesn't really care about that kind of stuff. So that could maybe be a good thing. I would say it would probably be annoying because it'd be like, oh, this is like not as fun to communicate.
So is it
like when I text like my grandma and it's green, I'm like, come on, like she's like, I didn't get your picture. I'm like, yeah, because you have a freaking Android and this shit's weird. Like I don't know if it's sending or what's going on.
It is
like
weird.
yeah.
So
it would probably be annoying, but it wouldn't like alarm me, I guess.
Good stuff.
But would it be a net positive or a net negative?
Stop trying to change the fucking goalpost every single time. Yeah. Jesus fucking Christ.
Well, you keep saying red flag and girls don't understand what red flag means. Like,
okay, if I was to actually start dating someone and they had, it wouldn't stop me from dating you.
That's the question.
If we started dating, I would probably rag on you. Like all the time, it'd be like our little inside joke. I'd be like, dude, like, come on. Like, let's
grow up, be an adult,
get
an
an
adult phone. Yeah,
come on.
Yeah, but my phone is better than yours, so why would I?
Oh my God. They always think the photo's better, and then it gets uploaded and it looks all shitty. And it's like, what are you talking about?
You're like, no, but on my phone it looks great.
It's like okay, so for you and only you.
So when you show people on your phone, I guess it looks good. Great.
But as you're showing them, they're thinking, they're not even looking at the photo. They're like, he has an Android?
It cancels out all the cloud of the photo instantly.
Oh, God. Thanks for coming on the show. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
You've been fantastic. Thanks for watching.